Arvindh here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the 5 things I always have in my DM's table. I don't use a screen anymore because I feel like it kind of comes between me and the players, right? But I always have these 5 pieces of information in my area that I use to run my game. Now, mind you, I'm definitely an improvisational DM. I've done the planning in advance, but when I get to the table, I have the bare minimum notes. Speaking of, the first piece of information that I have at my table is this, right? Which is essentially a flow of scenes, right? So it is essentially a situation that I prepped, and I understand what like sick means, what creek magic means, what map means. And these are all different hooks, right? Where the adventure starts. And then, of course, there's the serpent sigil, that kind of leads to the end of the game, or the climax, the hollows, the location, key beats. I have all of that stuff written down in a flowchart like this, and it has to fit on an index card for me, right? And whenever I'm running the game, I'll mentally look at this, physically look at this, and mentally check off all the stuff that's done and still understand, okay, what's there and what's not. That's the first piece of information. The second piece is this, right? So this is inspired by Sly Flourish's Secrets and Clues. These are the key things that I need my players to know in this session or in this adventure if I'm running a one shot. And again, I look at this and mentally check off what's being done and what's not. And in case something's not being, given to the players yet, or if they're still struggling, I tend to take that information that's there and repackage it and like deliver it to the players in a different way. Sometimes it might be that I might have to create an NPC on the spot, or they find an old scroll that they're looking at. Doesn't matter. Somehow or the other, this key information of secrets and clues is communicated to the player. So that's number 2. Number 3 is this. Okay. This is essentially A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. These are 10 names, Indian flavored names that I've created that I will drop at my table in case I have to cook up an NPC. And often when I have an adventure pre-planned, much better, I have a list like this, which is again used to, remind me of the names. And just one look at that name will conjure up an image, which is usually from concept art that I've seen online. And I use that to describe stuff to my players. Then that was 1, 2, and 3. Fourth thing is this. It is a list of epic things that I want to show to my players. I want them to experience, right? Now, fantasy is awesome, right? But one of the coolest things is when you can fantasize, when you can imagine things that don't appear every day, that are not commonplace, right? So, for example, this Fist of Power is something that my players see when they are playing my adventure, Flesh and Flowers, or a Pound of Flesh, right? So they see this gigantic zombie hand that's about like 3 stories tall, which is grasping a flesh golem, which is like writhing within the hands. And that is there, the town center of Hyravatan. You don't see that every day. In India, we see traffic jams and we see other people honking. We don't see big zombie hands holding in flesh golems, right? So that kind of stuff brings in a sense of awe. I also have like a howling fountain with tethered will-o-wisps. I have spectral rain of snakes. I've got leaf runners like in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, right? Some of the enemies, they run on leaves themselves. So I have a list of these epic things which make that experience out of the ordinary. So I have this so that I remind myself and drop it. And in case if something's going too far off track, boom, something epic happens, right? So that's the fourth thing. And final is perhaps one of the most useful things I ever used as a game master is this. It is known by many names. It's known as a timer or a countdown clock. It's basically a circle that's been split into multiple segments. And whenever PCs take some actions that may or may not influence this, I will update the circle accordingly. What I mean by that is this. Think of this as a countdown clock, right? When the full thing is colored, something bad happens, or maybe something good happens. It's just a visual way of showing progress towards something, right? So I would take this, place it in front of the players, and I would start filling stuff up, right? Now, this is a little bit of metagaming, but I'm okay with it because it heightens the emotional variance that people experience in my games. And what happens is that this clock, right, as it gets filled up, it racks up the tension, it ratchets it up. And my players are able to kind of suss out. They're able to figure out what kind of actions are filling up the clock and what's not. And that's a great lever that I can use as a GM to crank up the tension or to lower it as the game dictates. All right. So these are the 5 pieces. And literally, that's all I have, right? So I have these 3 index cards and these 2 Post-its. That's all I run with. And then I have like my dice. Actually, I just have a D20. And I run the game as is. No GM screens, just a couple of tokens and a lot of it. So I hope that this would help you with some new ideas of what you can add into your own home games and perhaps use that to improve the game that you're running. All right. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.